Tzu Chi visits areas of Mozambique to teach cyclone survivors important skills for self-sufficiency. Volunteers in Xindian were invited to hold a blessing event at the Tzu Chi Psychiatry Hospital and Clinic. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Residents in several areas of Mozambique have yet to recover from Cyclone Idai. Tzu Chi's assessment team drafted plans to help residents grow crops and become self-sufficient.
We are now in Buzi, which was devastated by Cyclone Idai. When the floods came, many houses had become empty. They are also worried that if the cyclone comes again, what can they do?
Buzi is in a low-lying area. The cyclone submerged many houses. Many damaged houses are now empty.
Aqui, algumas casas têm pessoas, porque aqui é onde trabalham.
3 villages will be relocated to Guaraguara. Because this is the town center, many jobs will still be here, but people will stay in Guaraguara because they don't know what will happen tomorrow. The latest calamities have given everyone a very big warning.
Também de Bandwa, toda a gente levamos para Guaraguara.
The Buzi River is the major water source for agriculture, but when Cyclone Idai came, the river flooded the surrounding land. 5 months after the cyclone, there are still watermarks.
No dia 14,
when Idai came, the water submerged this building. 2 days later, the water reached a line on the wall. 5 days later, the water began to recede slowly.
Depois, ela baixou, veio para aqui.
The road from Namantandan town to Guaraguara is very bumpy. It takes the Tzu Chi team more than 2 hours to arrive by car. Many residents of Buzi moved here. This is the first time for the Tzu Chi team to see a tent area with trees and flowers.
We see areas marked off by bamboo fences. These units are provided by the government. Every unit is about 6,404 square feet, but people still live in tents provided by charity groups. Although it is winter in Mozambique, it is stuffy and hot in a tent, and the area, about 71 square feet, is for sleeping. So during the daytime, people stay outdoors.
Close to 2,000 families live here, and Tzu Chi plans to build a great love village here. An agriculture expert who has worked in China, Philippines, Myanmar, and several other Southeast Asian countries said they must apply better agricultural technologies to improve the local farming sector.
What we have seen in these local areas is that they all use extensive agriculture. What it means by extensive agriculture is that people plant the seeds and wait for them to grow. If it hadn't been for the cyclone, or if the weather had been favorable, the farmers would have had good harvests.
The volunteers follow 2 agriculture experts to the designated agriculture areas.
The Kajan pea is a product they can grow because the world doesn't have many Kajan peas. It's high in protein and low in fat. I was in a designated area for Great Love Village and saw the cassava. The soil there is soft and the cassavas look quite pretty. If you grow them, they'll live.
Dr. Huang always promotes organic farming. He observes the soil and the weather because he hopes to find an opportunity for this impoverished land.
Dry the tobacco leaves in the sun, chop them into pieces and soak them in water for 24 hours. Then they become a natural pesticide.
It is August now, but also winter in Mozambique. But the daytime temperature can rise to over 30 degrees Celsius. An expert suggested that people should grow crops that can withstand drought. But the lack of water is a major problem. The volunteers hope to build a good great love village with an improved farming techniques for them.
Tzu Chi's latest free clinic in Laos provided 4 specialty clinics, with the number of visits doubling the previous 2 sessions, with a total of 3,000 patients treated.
Tzu Chi's first free clinic in Laos was held at the Atuk Hospital. Many patients had already waited for receiving medical help before the clinic began. With insufficient manpower, the translation volunteers also serve as dental assistants.
What I'm most afraid is serving in the dentistry department. I was very nervous at first, but I got used to it after many patients coming over. And I think they really need our help, so I have tried my best to help them.
Sudavong, who is a dentist at Atapu Hospital, is so busy that she does not even have time to drink water.
We are very grateful to Tzu Chi for coming here to help us. In this free clinic, I have learned the spirit of the teamwork and the service attitude towards patients. I didn't expect the patients could get toothbrush. It never happened before.
There are a total of 9 traditional Chinese medicine doctors, but most of them are novices in overseas free medical services. Dr. Huang Qianqi, who is from Singapore, showed us the responsibility to coordinate.
All of the Chinese medicine practitioners serve as the overseas free clinic for the first time. With such an opportunity, I can share with them my experience. It's also a harvest for me.
Suvan Lin, a Tzu Chi volunteer who was born in Laos, left her hometown at the age of 12 and married an Indonesian man later. She never forgets the good times of her childhood.
I had a very happy time here in my childhood. Later, because of the war, we all moved overseas. With this chance, I can come back to my hometown to contribute my share. I feel very proud.
At the 3 clinics, more than 2,000 patients were expected to receive help originally, but in the end, more than 3,000 people were served. The medical team from Singapore, which has many overseas service experience, has overcome many challenges.
Under such a manpower shortage, the medical professionals and doctors have to work in coordination, so the doctors can also understand the complicated predecessor work of the volunteers and others. They may have better ideas on how to operate a free clinic in the future.
Volunteers from various countries have come together to alleviate the sufferings of the people in need, spreading love to Laos people.
After a dam broke in Laos in July last year, Tzu Chi Foundation donated rice and hospital beds to the local government. Recently, 3 large-scale free clinics also held, with the deputy governor of the local province expressing his appreciation.
Standing in the middle of the doctor and the patient, 23-year-old Guo Jingying translated the doctor's advice to the patient. She graduated from Donghua University in Shanghai. She volunteers along with her family at the Tzu Chi Free Clinic in Laos.
I'm very grateful for having the chance to come here to volunteer at the free clinic. I have learned a lot.
Shuttling in the dentistry department is Cai Heqiang, who upholds the same aspiration of serving the fellow citizens.
I am here to help with tooth extraction and tooth cleaning. I'm happy to see the patients recover.
3 sessions of 3 clinics hosted by Tzu Chi conclude successfully. The deputy governor of Atapu province was specially present at the ceremony to issue a certificate of appreciation to Tzu Chi, expressing his thanks to the volunteers and the medical team. Tzu Chi volunteers also visited the Atapu Provincial Hospital with the superintendent. The volunteers found that the hospital beds in the ward areas were poorly equipped, and many others need to be purchased. The volunteers have recorded them one by one, preparing for further cooperation in the future.
A Sri Lankan suffers from mental disability and lives with his mother. However, their living environment was horrible, as Tzu Chi volunteers and people in the community came to clean and fix their roof, making their house more like a home.
This is Dima's house. He suffers from mental disability, so he is often picked on by people who throw rocks at him or his house, causing holes on the roof. Their surrounding is also quite filthy because his mother is too old to clean the house. On this day, Tzu Chi volunteers come to clean their house.
They don't have any friend to help them. I want to thank Tzu Chi for giving me this chance to help people who need it.
Some people climb to the roof to fix the roof tiles. Some sweep the floor, wipe the windows, and clean everything in the house. Whether it is the spiderweb on the eaves of the roof or dust on the walls, the volunteers clean every part of the house with care. They even find a brand new shirt still in the packaging.
I want to appreciate the things Tzu Chi does for me.
To allow the mother and her son to live safely, the volunteers turn some boards and scrap metal into a door.
His roof is broken and it is rainy in Sri Lanka, so it's not safe to live in this kind of house.
Everyone works together to keep Demons' home clean and stable, so the mother is extremely delighted. The volunteers will visit this family often to make them know they are not lonely.
Volunteers in Xindian district of New Taipei City were invited to hold a blessing event at a local psychiatry hospital. In Xinzhuang, the senior Tzu Chi volunteer spoke about the benefits of vegetarianism, hoping to change the traditional concept of worship.
Tzu Chi volunteers host a blessing ceremony in Zhonggang Plaza in Xinzhuang, advocating vegetarianism to protect the environment.
Going meatless can definitely save the planet. Being the borough chief of the neighborhood, I am sure if I spread this message, it can become a big force.
Going meatless for more than 30 years, the Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Aitao shared her experience of vegetarianism with other people, making them willing to try.
I think that going meatless is good for our health, because if we consume meat, there will be a bunch of things to break down. But vegetarians only have some vegetables or beans, so the burden on our body will be relatively lighter.
The release of carbon can be lesser through going meatless. I think this can improve global warming.
Moreover, volunteers are invited to hold a blessing event in Hongji Psychiatry Hospital and Clinic, located in Xindian district. This hospital was originally a sanatorium for patients with physical and mental illnesses. It is currently undergoing transformation and hopes to connect with the community through the volunteers.
We hope to connect with the community like this to open up a friendly bridge, let everyone resolve some unnecessary misunderstandings of our patients so as to create a healthier environment for them and give them more opportunities.
The activity today is very helpful to our patients. This may be attributed to some religious power or the care and love that brought by the volunteers. I think this promising effect can be a reason from medication.
I intended to bring the happiness to them today, hoping that they can restore their normal life when they recover from the illnesses.
Through group activities and sign language, the volunteers got closer to the patients and injected the power of love into their hearts.
The 9/21 earthquake seriously damaged Nantou, taking the lives of many. Master Xindian decided to build prefabricated houses and classrooms there. An exhibition hall in Nantou opened to commemorate this work.
She cooked over there and I cooked here. We could chat when we were cooking, so you can see the prefabricated house was very people-oriented, making us feel like we were neighbors when we opened the door and we wouldn't feel lonely.
Looking at the door plate of the prefabricated house, many memories well up in the affected residents' hearts.
This was just like our home. It was very good. We were happy living here.
All of them are Chao Tuan Great Loves villages. They supported each other to get through those difficult times. Thanks to the 1,100 prefabricated houses built by Tzu Chi, the affected residents could have a place to stay temporarily. Students' education cannot be delayed. Tzu Chi also built many classrooms at once for students to receive education.
The master is very long-sighted. Students' education really cannot be delayed. At the time, we seemed to have no special feelings, yet we were still receiving education.
The exhibition hall in Nantou officially opens in remembrance of the 9/21 earthquake. There are many photos combined with weddings to show Tzu Chi's charity, education, and medical services done after the quake.
I hope that the Tzu Chi volunteers in Nantou will uphold the wish and power of Master Xindian and to shoulder the responsibilities of purifying people's hearts, bringing harmony to the society, as well as reducing the disasters in the world.
Memory doesn't mean to let everyone think of the tragic situation in the past, but through the memories, we can be reminded of being faithful and grateful, as well as remembering the origins of our blessings.
Looking back at the 9/21 earthquake, it not only is a pain, but also is a mirror. Tzu Chi volunteers have left their footprint of love, which becomes a force to safeguard the people.
The 20th anniversary of the 9/21 earthquake disaster prevention education exhibition is taking place at New Taipei City Hall. Tzu Chi volunteers serve as tour guides. teaching the public about disaster prevention.
The children are simulating how to be safe in an earthquake. Everyone shows a frightened expression, indicating that the quake is a pain in many people's hearts. Coinciding with the 20th anniversary of the 9/21 earthquake, a special exhibition on disaster prevention education is held in the lobby on the first floor of the new Taipei City Hall.
The equipment in the exhibition allows everyone to experience an earthquake, so everyone can learn how to face natural disasters when they appear.
Tzu Chi volunteers earnestly guide the public to see the photos and texts on the wall, which record the historical scars of the 9/21 earthquake, just like watching the disaster history in Taiwan. The exhibition is divided into 4 main themes, including review of earthquake disaster, campus reconstruction, disaster prevention education, as well as parent-child interaction experience. There is also a blessing area. The Tzu Chi Foundation specially donated 400 beds to New Taipei City, hoping to help the affected people and frontline disaster relief personnel.
This year is the 20th anniversary of the September 21st quake and the 10th anniversary of Typhoon Morakot. Master Zheng Yan reminded us to remember that year, since there were lots of disasters happened. Serious earthquakes happened not only in Taiwan but also in the whole world, like Turkey. So Tzu Chi people are busy doing disaster relief continuously in Taiwan and also around the whole world.
The exhibition runs from August 19th to 24th, with about 50 Tzu Chi volunteers guiding the audience every day. The exhibition's theme, in remembrance of that year, is not to awaken painful memories of the disaster, but to learn from the disaster and reunite the power of mutual assistance in the community.
After the 1999 earthquake in Turkey, Tzu Chi assisted the construction of 200 tents and 300 DaAi houses. This was done for disaster victims who were left to sleep on the streets for several months at a time, as people of all faiths were given the chance to rebuild their lives. After the earthquake, many things stopped. Children could not go to school. Adults lost their jobs. A tent is now their home. They eat meals, which is all part of a daily routine. On one side, children are cheering, while on the other side, a mother is crying. The Tzu Chi tent area was completed 4 months after the earthquake. 200 white tents with red trim, an outer layer of tin foil helps them endure the cold winter. Looking inside, there's the light of a candle and a stove brewing a cup of tea to entertain guests from afar. For many, this is their home. In another disaster-stricken city, Tzu Chi is building DaAi houses.
Take into account the need for permanent housing, we are laying a foundation of cement. The house is made with lightweight materials and spread with cement.
In the winter of 2000, 300 DaAi houses were completed and opened to the public. Materials needed inside the home were also delivered. These children are eager to open the box, which is full of gifts and surprises. Finally, they have a living room to play in. The 33-square-meter house is like a castle to them. Even a prayer room allows the faithful to worship. Turkish Tzu Chi volunteer Faisal Hu believes that Allah gave him this mission.
We believe that there is a fairy on each side of a person. One fairy will record everything that you have done good in your life, and the other will record bad things. This will be given to Allah later on Judgment Day, as all souls must go to Jerusalem. When the horn sounds on that day, I only hope that Allah will judge me and ask me what I did, and I will say, I'm done my job.
As sunlight falls in the atrium, the child's smile is the most beautiful thing in this world. Every child should have the chance to ride on Dad's shoulders. After settling down, every so often volunteers come to visit, bring greetings from house to house, also sending daily necessities. Son Ray Xiang, who was often involved in the distribution at that time, has since graduated from the University of Istanbul and has returned to work in Taiwan.
How can you judge these families? They simply went one step at a time, and I truly admire their courage. Frankly, if this happened to me today, I would not have the courage to get up again. They really had nothing, and it is amazing that they were able to make their way back.
Here we are in Turkey, where after the 1999 earthquake, Tzu Chi helped build 300 DaAi houses. We can still see the foundation from that year, though the original site has been rebuilt as a vocational school.
DaAi houses were demolished after 3 years as survivors of the disaster moved on with their lives and put this era in the past, as life goes on, playing a sweet melody for many to remember days long ago. Tzu Chi volunteers in New Taipei City held a stem cell registration drive, giving more people a chance to make a potential parent. One patient who was diagnosed with leukemia invited relatives and friends to have the chance to save others. To increase the chances of a successful stem cell pairing, Tzu Chi held a stem cell registration activity at the Shofeng High School. Zhang Wenyan, who was diagnosed with leukemia 3 or 4 months ago, was lucky to be paired successfully, as he invited relatives and friends to register for the sake of other patients.
Although there are more than 400,000 files, it may look like a lot, though everyone's genes are a little different, so it's really not easy to get a pairing. I was diagnosed with leukemia, so I have some understanding of this matter. If I did not get paired with a bone marrow donor here, the only way to continue would be through chemotherapy.
In order to inform donors about the process, volunteers prepare detailed information. Zhou Peihua and Yang Muzhen, both of whom are nurses, are looking forward to saving the lives of those in need.
I have served in a cancer ward in the past, so I know there's a chance of survival. After all, in this world, I think there are many family or friends who always hope for a little more time, so I would like to see such pairings as quickly as possible.
Although I only stay in a hospice ward for a year, I saw a lot of things like this. I think life is actually very fragile, and we all need to be safe and protect ourselves, and as well as do our parts to help others.
A healthy person who is between 18 to 45 years old and is unafraid of compromising his own health has a chance to save the life of another person through this activity. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.